Hi, everyone. It's Jacob and Lauren, and we are here with you today for video 3 of our series. We did a little mini video series to give everybody a taste of the upcoming writers program we are launching on Heal Plus Create. We're also doing a kickoff event to open that program. So I know I've gotten a lot of questions from people saying, like, I'm not real sure about committing to the whole program yet. How can I get an even bigger taste of it? And I say, hey, the weekend retreat, like, this is your ticket. It's a full 2 days of me teaching, Jacob teaching. We've got Julia Cameron coming in. We've got Anna Marie O'Brien coming in. We've got silent writing. If you want a very immersive experience that will give you a very strong, deep taste of what this program is all about, the Heal Plus Create Writers Retreat Weekend, that's the way to go. Jacob, today we're talking about how you and I work as teachers, because I know I get a lot of what I call sort of like writing culture refugees, people who say, I got an MFA, I think it made everything worse. I took a bunch of classes, I think it made everything worse. I binged on writing craft books, now I can't write one word. And people are kind of nervous and a little gun shy, and they're like, I don't know, are you gonna push me? I mean, I know I need accountability, and I always say, hey, I know everybody thinks they need accountability. And honestly, accountability, it's not really the way to go. It's just another way to whip yourself and say, I'm not good enough. I'm not that kind of teacher. And I know you aren't either.
Yeah. No, I believe in accountability that looks like we get together and we learn together, we connect, we create, we share the joy of, like, to me, that kind of accountability is what's needed. It's not more of the left brain goal oriented. If you didn't get it done by a certain date, then you failed. So I'm completely with you there, Lauren. In fact, some of my favorite books on the craft of writing, Stephen Pressfield's books, The War of Art and Nobody Wants to Read Your Shit, another wonderful book. And a lot of writers I've worked with, including myself, have had to basically recover from the idea of smashing or crushing resistance or exploding, demolishing blocks. What I find is a gentler approach. Often a block isn't there like some foreign creature, foreign object. It's something that is within us, and it probably needs a lot of gentleness to pull the threads, to walk around it, to take the time to find out what is going on in here, what pattern, what old belief, what old traumatic experience or memory is still rooted in there. What do I need to move more gracefully through this, not just to smash it and break it in all of the pugilistic terms that we hear a lot out there.
Well, yeah, I'm glad you brought up Stephen Pressfield. I love Stephen Pressfield, but there's a time and a place. And I just want to say, if you are a person who you're like, I thrive on competition, I love aggression, the higher the stakes, the better. This is not your program.
Right.
And that's okay. This is not your program. If you are a person who's intuitive, who tends to be very sensitive, whether that's emotionally sensitive, physically sensitive, spiritually sensitive, if you feel socially awkward, if you feel like a weirdo, if you really tend to connect deeply with animals, plants, the earth, if you are very empathic, this is going to be your type of program. This is a gentle program. This is a loving program. This is a show up as you are, and that's perfect program. It doesn't matter if you've never written before in your life. It doesn't matter if you've started 10 novels and you haven't finished any of them. We don't care. We love you for what you are, and we just want you to show up and feel seen. So if that's something that's always felt like a missing piece to you, like, I feel like no one really sees me, and I feel like I have trouble seeing myself or seeing my talents, seeing my own brilliance, seeing my writing power, this is the place for you. That's the kind of program this is, and that's the kind of teachers Jacob and I are.
Yeah, very much want to lead you deeper and deeper into connection with your inner creative self. And by the way, the inner creative self that was born when you were born, the spark of you, that has never been diminished. It's never been damaged. It has never been lost. It's always been in there. What happens is we lose the connection to it. And so everything Lauren just described really is, we know, this is not even belief, we know that every person who has a desire to express themselves in writing has something valuable. They have something original and unique in them. And that's what we want to do, is open up space where you can reconnect to what's original and valuable in you and rare, and then bring it forward or forth, or any other preposition. Any other prepositions you want to add there?
Well, I love that you said open up space, because that's what this is about. This is not about time management. This is not about being more productive, which is usually about squeezing time, controlling the space and the time. We're going to open up the space, and we're not so concerned with the time. So it might take you 5 years to write your book. You might surprise yourself and you start writing, and 3 weeks later you have kind of a novella going on. Whatever happens is okay. And that's part of this program, is we are going to teach you how to not only get more comfortable with unpredictability, but how to be willing to be surprised.
Right.
And that is such a hard thing for people in society today. People hate being surprised because they feel out of control and something scary is coming. I have to be prepared. Jacob and I really like to kind of ride that thrill of like, well, we don't know what's coming, but it's probably awesome. And I know a lot of people think we're nuts for that, but if you can get into that flow of life of like, hey, I'm willing to be surprised, and I'm willing to just see what opens up here when I open up, that's the kind of adventure you're going to go on in this program. Now, there is a limited number of spots available. I believe you said 97, Jacob?
Yeah, this is a launch group, Lauren. So our community, we see this growing into the hundreds and thousands over time. This is the special launch group, which means we all get together at a starting point and we say, okay, now we're started. So there will come time when we open up to more spots. But if you're really feeling this is your time and that you don't want to miss a special opportunity, I love what Lauren said before about walking through a door that feels like a yes. So if this is feeling like a yes for you, even if maybe you feel some anxiety about it, or am I good enough, or can I do it, but you're still feeling a yes, understand that the yes is what's true. I don't know how many times, Lauren, maybe you've had this experience. I've come to the threshold of something really important, and it did feel like a yes, and it felt like I'm taking a leap here of some kind. I'm not sure how this will work out. Well, if you're feeling that, some of the anticipation and anxiety, but you're also feeling strongly, yes, it is time for me to commit to my own creative expression, then that's what this launch group would probably be the best time to start now, rather than hope that it comes back around.
Well, I just want to say too, Jacob and I have taught together in the past, very small groups, and the connections within the group are so beautiful to see, because everybody shows up on the first day, like first day of school, really nervous, and I'm so weird, and I've always felt alone, and no one understands me. And then by the end, it's like, oh my God, we're all weird together. And we're actually going to be lifelong friends. Like we've taught together at a group 5 years ago, and the people are still very close friends, and they're still very close with me and Jacob. So that's part of any program we run. It's not like, yeah, you come in and you're a student, you're kind of a faceless student, and then you leave. You will get to know us, and you will get to know the other people in the program, and you will be just so surprised at how lovely the other people in the program are. Our programs are full of love. That's the most basic, simple way I can say it. They're full of love. So if you feel like, I'm kind of a weirdo, I don't know if I'm a match for my friends or family, like no one really shares my interests, no one really gets me, this is a place where people are going to get you. This is a place where you are going to feel truly seen and truly valued for your essence and your spirit.
Right. Yeah, I love that. In watching it happen, Lauren, as you said, you and I have taught in person a number of times, Sedona, Santa Fe, and then we've taught online together a lot of times. And I've always loved I'm just going to brag on you a little bit here. I've always loved your deeply intuitive work that you do with people. And I also love how practical and pragmatic you can be with the way you teach and with the way you lead. So it is interesting to watch people get very real results when they get, as they're working with you, they begin to have things really happen. And that's what I also love about, the work I'm doing with people, is watching them get results. I think on the last video, I'm just going to hold up some of these books again. It's so exciting to hold these books in my hands and know the personal growth they represent. Lauren, in everyone who has sent me a copy of their book and said, I did it. It wasn't even the book anymore. It was the fact that they worked through their own fears and their beliefs of limitation and all the things. And they proved the point to themselves that I am worth committing to. My creative expression, my own self is worth committing to. So for me, that's really what makes the whole thing worth it, is knowing that people are really coming into who they're meant to be.
Well, and I'm glad you brought up Sedona, because I just want to brag on you for a little bit. I remember there was a woman there. I saw you work with her and you got down to this real deep piece. And she said, that's it. That's it. And you're like, no, there's something deeper. Let's go. And you got to a deeper level. And she's like, that's it. That's it. She's like in tears. And you're like, no, let's go for the deepest piece. And I was like, wow, I have never seen anything like this. And you got to the deepest layer. And she was like, that's it. That's it right there. And I didn't even know that was it. She's like, I would have stopped at the first level because it felt already like I was so deep, but you kept going and you like pulled it out of her, and everything was different after that. And I've seen you do that. I've seen you do it in person. It's really a magical thing. And that's the kind of work we're going to be doing in this program. Like, dare I say alchemy? Like, I'm going to throw it out there. Really, it's that kind of program. This is not a surface level program. This is not like, well, I just kind of want to polish up my writing skills. You know, maybe I'll have another career as a resume writer. This is a soul program. This is a personal growth program. This is your life program. So it's not just about writing. And I know both Jacob and I as teachers believe you cannot compartmentalize writing. It's not like writing's over here and then your life is over here. They are inextricably intertwined. And where one is, so is the other, and you cannot get away from that. So that's the kind of program this is. That might be kind of intimidating for some people. Some people might be, watching this and they're like, I'm not in for all that. I don't want to do all this personal growth work. That's fine. But if you just heard what I said and you're like, there's something in me that wants to go toward that, listen to that voice. That is your intuition. Come join us.
I don't really have a lot to add to that, Lauren. I am so excited about, after all these years of working together and working separately and then sharing ideas, I'm really so excited to have something come together that is meant to do. I mean, my God, can you imagine if we had a program like this when we were starting years and years ago?
Oh my gosh. I think it had to happen now. As everything has its right time, it had to happen now. Right. So if you're watching this, if you still have questions about the weekend retreat, about the program itself, about scheduling, about pricing, if you're still on the fence about whether or not you're a fit for this, please get a hold of us. There's a link in the email that you're watching this video from. You can follow that link to the website. There's a contact form there, or you can email Jacob. You can email me. We're on Twitter. We're on Facebook, on YouTube. Please get us your question and let's get the questions answered before the doors close. And I say that, I always really emphasize this because I always get emails from people a day or so after where they're like, I just had this question and I just sat on the fence too long and now I really want in. And I said, I'm sorry, I can't let you in. It's just not fair. There was a deadline and I have to uphold that. So don't be that person who's like, I'm full of regrets, really get us the questions now, because if you need to be in, let's get you in. And I think that's everything. Thank you so much for watching this, whoever you are, if you know us, if you don't, and hopefully we will see you at the retreat and we'll see you in the program itself. Bye, everyone.
Bye.